Hi, I'm D. I like tabletop RPGs, and I'm on a boat. Have you ever tried to make a tabletop RPG? It's like hard. You think it'd be easy making other like D&D like games, but there's more than just D&D. There's so many games, and making your own is really hard. I've been running games and making my own since like 2010. I've been doing homebrew, all kinds of things for like, but 99.999999999 endless 9% of them never make it to print or publishing. And just making things in general is hard. And like, and that's coming from someone with probably undiagnosed ADHD, I don't know. Anyways, here's the reasons why it's so hard making a tabletop RPG. First off, one of the first things you gotta do when it comes to RPGs is know what your dice system is. You've gotta choose. You need to know what your dice kind of do. What kind of dice you want. 1d20, 2d6, d10 pools a la VTM. They all have different strengths and weaknesses, and if you're not sure, and if you're not going off what you already like or familiar with, like, you know, that's why there's a lot of d20 games out there, because people keep just trying to remake D&D because that's all they've played. This doesn't even mention all the obscure ones like D12 systems, 74. There's like at least 2 systems that are 74. There's like Triangle Agency and there's Overlight. There's like at least 2. There's 2d8 double systems, 4d8 and 4d6 swap, percentile dice like Call of Cthulhu, and like so many more. 90% of the reason you might end up completely overhauling your game is due to the dice system just not doing what you want to do, and like wanting to try some others out. I say dice, by the way, but that's not even the whole shebang. Dice mechanics fall under this like even larger umbrellas of what I call CRMs, or conflict resolution mechanics. So poker cards, tarot cards, Jenga towers, resource management. Like, there are games out there where you don't roll dice, you just spend points. All of that will invariably affect every decision you end up making. What you choose as a CRM changes your entire game. There's so much to talk about CRMs, I might as well make its own video, but like, that's a video for another day. So the second part that makes it so difficult to make games. When you make a game, you have to ask, what is this game trying to do? What is this game trying to be? What is it trying to emulate? Does it even want to do those things? Is this about knights? Then why do you have range attack rolls? Is this going to be Evangelion? Where's your stress mechanics and your mecha rolls? Is this Mysteries of Murder? Then why can your detective firebend like you're an Avatar? Making content gives your dice mechanics flavor. Making these mechanics gives your game identity. What numbers are the players excited for? Are they gonna go berserk if they roll a 1 or a 6? If you don't have supporting mechanics to transform weapons, how are you gonna emulate Ruby? If you don't add anything, then it's just a little engine, and while there are certainly prominent examples of engines doing just fine, Piloted by Apocalypse, Fate, Savage Worlds. Listen, it's rare for a generic tabletop to do well than it is for a non-generic one, and it's already like impossible for a non-generic game to do well. You might have like some people like looking at you on Twitch, but for the most part, most games go completely unplayed, completely unheard of. Third, scope bloat. When you start adding supportive systems, where does it end? If you have a gun, should it misfire? Well, then it probably needs a repair roll. But not just any repair roll, it needs a gunsmithing kit. But it can't be the only kit. What about a medicine kit? A lumberjack kit? Should they just be able to do your job, or should they have mechanics attached to it if people want to like mix around and have different jobs? Well, lumberjacking isn't the same as a strength roll. It has technique to it. Maybe it's a strength plus technique roll. Maybe it has like extra abilities. Maybe you can skip all that by adding chainsaws. Magic chainsaws? Real chainsaws? Maybe we need to make gasoline and add gasoline to the world. Did the chainsaw devil eat gasoline? What about refilling the gas? What about the price? How does that affect the world? Are there cards? Are there cars? Is that magic? How much HP do the cars have? How much damage do the cars do when they hit you? Oh wait, the cars are the most optimal damage in the game now. Oops. One small change might add a whole slew of mechanics or features to the game, ones you didn't want to add in the first place. Scope bloat can happen suddenly and out of nowhere, or slowly build up over time, but it inevitably happens. When you want to emulate more and more of the world, you invariably create mechanics most people might never actually use. Gary Gygax famously had ship battle mechanics, naval battles, in the original D&D that his players never actually used because the campaign was on land. the decisions, the decisiveness to cut content is extremely difficult. Because it's often at the step where you'll question what mechanics you want in your game or not. And then you're thinking, what dice system is actually better for these mechanics? And now you're changing the CRM. Now you're switching from a D20 to a 2D6. Psst, you'll also be doing this to a D10 system later too. And you're gonna have to start this whole process over again. All my complaints about tabletops kind of translate to video games as well. CRMs. Conflict resolution mechanics. I don't think I explained that enough, but I can get into that later. Identity, scope load, and all JRPGs are just actually tabletop RPGs with computers writing the math for you. All the people playing the Pokemon tabletop RPG, well, they could not be, because that's like massively expanding the amount of hours it takes to actually play it, because there's a lot of math that happens in Pokemon, and that 2-hour fight that you're doing with 6 teams and 6 players, that could be done in half a minute in the actual video game. But you know what? You're just gonna make the game really long for no reason. Anyway, sorry, I have opinions about Pokemon. That's another video too. Look, one benefit we have over video games is the ability to evolve naturally over time. Video games might have DLC, but every instance of someone playing your game has GMs and players that can freely add or remove rules as they see fit to tailor their experience to them. You don't have to make the perfect tabletop RPG. I truly don't believe that'll ever exist. But what you can make is a game that works and does the things that make it feel the way you want it to feel. You can make a game that's just enough, even if it's just for you. You just need to trust everyone else to fill in the gaps as they see fit. Alright, so how do I end a video? Have you made an RPG before? Probably, maybe, if you're looking at some random tabletop RPG VTuber, but I'm a VTuber, that's what this is. Look, I don't do endings very well, so, just ignore me. Okay, just go. Bye!